With Nigeria's key lending rate at 24.75%, developers in Nigeria's real estate sector say the rate is fast impacting the growth of the industry. How are developers adapting to market shifts and new opportunities amidst this challenge? Well, Olarenwaju Kuyebi, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of GMH Luxury, joins me now for more on this discussion. Ayo, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. While we know property values inch up as inflation also ticks higher, investors are using interest rate hedging, for example, to reduce and control their risk exposure. But walk us through the dynamics at play here for the country. Yes, we've seen cement prices come down. However, other costs still remain higher. Unit cost of buildings have tripled, almost quadrupled.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me on your program. So basically now the dynamics have actually changed. The business dynamics has changed as a result of inflation, as a result of naira devaluation. And you know, hardly can you now make a projection that is beyond 3 months because of the naira devaluation and the rapid flow of things. If you look at what the NPR rate has done in the last 1 month, it has moved tremendously to 24.75%. That means the borrowing rate is actually higher now. So, and what inflation does to the purchasing power of people is actually that it reduces the purchasing power of people. So, the impact on real estate is actually humongous when you look at, so because you cannot adjust price relatively to what inflation is doing to the market. Imagine a project that was started in 2023, early 2023, when cement is doing 3,800 compared to what the cement is doing today. In February, it became very scary. Cement went as high as 9,000, 10,000, 11,000.
15
at some point. So reinforcement moved from less than 500,000 to 1.5 million at some point. So now it's back at less than 1 million. Even cement is at 7,800 today. Granite is close to 600,000. So when you look at the cost implication on construction, it's about, you're looking at 50% from a project between 2023 and now. But can you price property based on that? The answer is no, because the purchasing power of people is actually eroded.
Yes.
So what we can do as of now is actually the off plan we leverage on now to reduce our cost of exposure with financial institutions. You cannot even do it as of today.
Yes, so I was going to also touch on that, because one of the go-tos when you hear real estate developers also make recommendations is, why don't you just opt for an off-site plan, something of that sort. But we've also seen mortgage costs, phased payments, instrumental payments also take a little bit of a hit at this point in time, and those windows are narrowing even much more. So with the environment, get this higher interest rate environment now moving even higher, how do you see things going forward, the outlook for the market?
So the outlook for the market, things are becoming a bit stable. In the last 3 weeks, the dollar has come down from 1,600 to about less than 1,200 as of today. So, but when you look at that, is there a reflection of that in the cost of material? The answer is still no. The cost of material is still up there. And one thing I want you to notice is the fact that, say, a property is sold last year.
A one-bedroom, for example, which went for about, say, 8-10 million naira, now is about 24 million
24 million naira. And what's the buying power of naira as of June 2023 and as of today? Naira doesn't have the same buying power because our reality is actually the dollar, which is 90% of the finishing item has to be imported. So, especially in the market where we play, so that we have to leverage on there. So that is a big problem. So before now, when we consummate a project with 30% counterpart funding, we can leverage on off-plan sales and get the project to a reasonable conclusion. But now you need 70% of capital injection. So you need 70% capital injection because you cannot project more than 3 months. So if you say you are doing 12-month payment plan, 18-month payment plan, you are losing value to inflation and devaluation because you are not in position of your off-plan sales.
So if you were to advise an investor at this point in time, we're all considering where's the right entry point. If you were to advise, where should they put their money now? So
basically now what is ideal now is actually equitable finance. That's what is ideal now. Because if you go to bank now, the minimum interest rate you are going to get is around 30-32%. and the moratorium period will be around 3 months. What can you do within that space of time? So there is low purchasing power. That means your off-land is really drying up. Off-land is not stable as a result of Naira devaluation. So it's not even a place you want to go to, except you want to keep creating concrete jungle in Lagos, whereby you have a lot of carcasses that never get finished. That is what is happening. Because project consummated 2022, how do you finish now? When dollar was less than 500 and today dollar is 1,100. So when you look at what has happened to our inflation is about 31.7%.
And all of this also raises concerns when we are looking at the quality of the sort of infrastructure we also have here in the country now. We've heard of waves of building collapses, and that's quite the scary picture. But
for me, the cost has no direct implication with building collapse. I think building collapse is a technical issue. It's more of technical than finance. Yes.
Well, people
because the second job of almost everyone you see on the street today is development. And there are technical errors you can make with a story building, two-story building, you get away with them because they are not alarming. When you do that with a 5-story building, the building is going to come down.
So
it's just technical. So we just have to expose more to professionalism when it comes to construction. Well, it's not everybody that can go into construction and say, because I have this money, I want to do construction. It's a no.
Sure. We'll have to leave the conversation here for now for the lack of time, but thank you so much for your time on the show today.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
Olarenwaju Kuyebi, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of GMH Luxury.